Next we shall discuss about another important agency which repeatedly appears in the newspaper, that is National Investigation Agency. Okay. It's important, but again they have never asked a question on NIA. So there are very high chances that they may ask a question at the superficial level. So National Investigation Agencies are India's premier counter-terrorism law enforcement agency. So we discussed about CBI. So whether CBI is confined to particular things like corruption, bribery, so its jurisdiction extended to multiple different fields. It may be corruption or it may be economic offences, so many things, or even murder, okay, criminal cases as well. But here it deals exclusively with what? Terrorism, counter-terrorism law enforcement agencies. So that terrorism related activities should not take place in India. So it is involved in counter-terrorism, what? Implementation of counter-terrorism laws. It was established in 2008 after 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. Okay, in 2008 there were Mumbai terror attacks. So after that, National Investigation Agency was established to strengthen the national security framework. Okay, again this is generic. The agency functions under the Ministry of Home Affairs. So this is important. Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay, Home Affairs. So it serves as the central counter-terrorism and anti-insurgency agency. So anti-insurgency agency, insurgency means within the country. So there are people who may go against the nation, so against the state, against the country. So it also deals with them as well. It deals with them as well. Responsible for investigating offences that threatens India's sovereignty, security and integrity. Okay. Whenever any activities that threaten India's sovereignty or security or integrity, so such related things it will handle. Okay, it will try to address such kind of cases. So legal framework created under National Investigation Agency Act 2008. So this is important. So here what we understood, NIA is a statutory body or non-statutory body? It's a statutory body, whereas CBI is a non-statutory body, but it derives the power from which act? Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. Okay. So the act provides a legal basis for establishing NIA as a central investigation agency when it comes to counter-terrorism related cases, specifying scheduled offences that fall under NIA's jurisdiction. So which all cases NIA can take? Okay, there is a list of offences. There is a list of offences. Only such cases NIA can handle. Okay, so which are those cases? Few cases we will be looking into it later on. NIA can take up investigations across India. Okay, across India it can take any kind of what? Counter-terrorism related cases. And after 2019 amendment, even outside India, if the crime affects Indian citizens or national interest. So it can take up for investigation even outside country also if the activity is threatening any Indian citizens or national interest. Okay, national interest. So now outside India, this term is also equally important because it was added through 2019 amendment. Okay, 2019 amendment. Objectives: to investigate and prosecute offences affecting national security, sovereignty, integrity, security of state and friendly relations with foreign countries. So terrorist attack on critical infrastructure and public places. So what do we understand by critical infrastructure? Okay. For example, road is an important highway is an example of a critical infrastructure. Okay. Some large storage, oil storage infrastructure, that comes under critical infrastructure. Military related infrastructure, it comes under critical infrastructure. All this is generic information, just ignore it. To ensure speedy and effective investigation of scheduled offences. So before NIA also there were many agencies involved in handling such kind of cases, but they had many different cases to solve. Hence they could not devote sufficient time to terrorism related cases. Hence a special agency was created so that investigation can take place in a faster manner. Okay, faster manner. To coordinate investigation with state police forces and central agencies. It also coordinate with state police force and other central agencies. Composition. So unlike the CBI director, so which was repeatedly in newspaper. Okay, CBI director's appointment was repeatedly in newspaper and Supreme Court also has given multiple judgments regarding that. So the director of the NIA has never appeared in the newspaper. Hence this content is not important from exam point of view. So what we have to understand maximum here is, so Director General DG of NIA is the head of the agency appointed by the central government. So who is the head of NIA? Director General. Okay. In case of CBI, It is just director. Okay, director. Other officers are drawn from the Indian Police Service, Indian Revenue Service and central organizations. Here also we have to understand that when it comes to investigation, so people are not only, do not belong only to IPS, they also belong to other services as well. Okay, other services as well. The agency has several branches and units across India, including some of these places, not important. Okay. Jurisdiction and powers. So nationwide jurisdiction. The NIA can investigate cases across all states. So NIA can investigate what? Across India, all states and union territories. So here, consent of the state, whether it is required, it is not required. In case of CBI, consent of the state was required, but here, no. Extraterritorial jurisdiction, it can investigate offences committed outside India if they impact Indian citizens or Indian interests as per the 19th Amendment. State consent, the NIA does not require state government consent to take over a case from the state police. But in case of CBI, they require. So sometimes, so see, they never asked a question on CBI, they never asked a question on NIA. If at all they ask, so it will be at the superficial level and it will be through comparison as well. So they may make a statement like this. In case of CBI, so state consent is required, whereas in case of NIA, state consent is not required. Okay. In these these type of questions they can frame, so important. So state consent is not required. So powers the NIA can do, it can conduct searches and seizures. So if they believe that somewhere terrorist related activities are going on, it can make searches and it can also seize few of the items. So arrest accused persons. So these points are important. Even if you can ignore, even if you ignore the other points also, it is okay. But these points are important. So it can conduct a search. Yes. Can it seize? Yes. Can it arrest? Yes. File charge sheets in NIA special courts. So this is very important. In NIA, we have a provision of special courts. So rather than taking to district court, taluk court, so in order to fasten the process, there are some special NIA courts. Okay. This point is also very important. Yesterday I mentioned about the suo motu, if you remember, in the context of National Human Rights Commission. So can they initiate suo motu cases? Yes. Similarly here, the agency can suo motu take over any case if the central government deems it fit under the NIA Act. If the central government feels that this case is suitable, where you have to take over, then it can take over. Okay. Suo motu. So just before 2019, because now current affairs point of view, UPSC when it comes, they don't focus just on the current affairs of 1 or 2 years. For example, 2025, 26, no. So how they focus is, they focus on the editorial article. So those who read the editorial article, in the editorial articles, they are not confined to just recent amendments, recent changes. The amendments may extend to 5 to 6 years or even 10 years as well. So hence, these provisions are important. So before 2019, limited to Indian territory, but now extended to offences outside India as well. So previously, only terrorism related cases it could handle till 2019. But now expanded to include human trafficking, cyber terrorism, counterfeit currency, manufacturing, sale of prohibited arms. So now this list is important. In the examination, if they frame a statement that NIA can take cases only related to terrorism. No. Initially it was started after the 2008 Mumbai attack only to handle terrorism related cases. But now its jurisdiction has been extended to other fields. So it may include human trafficking, cyber terrorism, counterfeit currency. What is counterfeit currency? Duplicate or quota note, what we call. Okay. Next, manufacture, sale of prohibited arms. So what do they understand by arms? Yes, weapons. Okay. So the weapons which are prohibited, if such sale is taking place, it will also take investigate such cases as well. Consent of states. Previously in some cases the consent was required, but after 2019 amendment no longer required. So no consent of the state is not required to investigate the cases. Okay. So special courts designated by central government only can also be designated by state governments. Now I mentioned about the NIA special courts, right? So previously only the central government could establish those special courts, but now some special NIA special courts can be established by state governments as well. Okay. State governments as well. Okay. Scheduled offences under the NIA Act. The schedule of the Act lists several laws under which offences can be investigated by the NIA. Okay. So the very important act which repeatedly appears in the newspaper and also very important from the exam point of view is Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. 1967. Okay, very important. Okay, so Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. So this is the major law which deals with the terrorism. Okay, so whether NIA can investigate cases which fall under UAPA? Yes. Okay, this is important. Similarly, there are Atomic Energy Act, Anti-Hijacking Act, Anti-Maritime Piracy Act, Weapons of Mass Destruction and Their Delivery Systems Act, Explosive Substances Act, Suspension of Lawful Activities Against Safety of Civil Aviation Act. So under all these acts, okay, under all these acts, what happens? There are various different offences. So all those offences can be investigated by what? National Investigation Agency. But among all these, this is very important. Okay, all the other acts have never appeared in the newspaper or very rarely. But generally, whenever UAPA comes, so associated name of the NIA will appear in the newspaper. Hence, very important. Okay, very important. NIA Special Courts constituted under Section 11 of the Act. Section 11 not important. Empowered to try offences investigated by the NIA. So all the investigations that are being conducted by NIA, such cases can be taken by NIA Special Court. The central government, in consultation with the Chief Justice of the High Court, designates these courts. Okay. So again, not important. This much detail not important. This is important. Appeals from the NIA Special Courts lie directly to the High Court. So this is a very important point to note. So in the examination, if they ask, so the appeals of the NIA Special Court can be made directly only to Supreme Court and not to High Court. And they can be made to High Court. Okay. So these are some of the cases which they have handled. 2611 Mumbai attack, Pathankot air base attack. Okay, not important. Just one or two if you are able to recall from the mains point of view, that would be sufficient. For example, 2611 Mumbai attack case. Okay. So maintains conviction rate exceeding 90%. This can be quoted in what? Mains. So whenever they start investigation, so there are very high chances that the person who has been arrested will be convicted. So most of the not exceeding 90%. Okay, exceeding 90%. So this reflects about the high professionalism and quality of investigation. Quality of investigation. So again, these things can be quoted in mains. So federal concerns. So some states allege encroachment on the policing powers of the states. So things which now when it comes to police is present in which list? State. It means investigation has to take place naturally has to be made by state government. But NIA will take over. So it means it is like encroaching, taking the powers of the state. So these things you can mention as part of the criticism. Again in mains, not important from prelims. Overburden with cases, growing number of cases with limited staff and infrastructure. Political misuse allegations, accusation of selective targeting bias in investigation. Because NIA works under the central government, so there are allegations of bias. Complexity of cyber terrorism. Digital crimes and encrypted communication make evidence gathering difficult. So because of the digital communication where everything can be encrypted, so sometimes gathering the evidence will be difficult. Coordination challenges in cross-border investigations. When you want to investigate in other countries, then the chances of they cooperating with you are very less. Okay, very less. So again, some of these generic points, what we will do at the time of mains examination, you will make a common set of points which you will use for all the entities, whether it is CBI, whether it is NIA, whether it is Enforcement Directorate, you will be using the same points. So strengthens national security and counter-terrorism framework, ensure uniform standards of investigation across India, enhances coordination among state and central security agencies, plays a vital role in preventing and disrupting terror financing networks, acts as a deterrence against organized terrorism and radicalization. So what is organized terrorism? So this term is important. So now for example, one person will go and he will carry a bomb and he will allow it to explode. So such attacks, they are called as lone wolf attack. So this term appears in the newspaper. But organized terrorism means some people will form a team, they will decide, okay, they will decide the name of their organization. So they are called as organized terrorism or organized terrorists. For example, Lashkar-e-Toiba is an organized terrorist organization. Next, radicalization. So what is radicalization? So again, this term it repeatedly appears in the newspaper, radicalization. Okay. So radicalization means now what they will do, the youth, okay, so they will interact with them and through some means they will brainwash them. So if you become a terrorist, then you will go to Jannat. Okay. So these kind of brainwashing things we call it as radicalization. So this also tries to act as a deterrent, stop the radicalization as well. radicalization. So with this we shall briefly conclude about the National Investigation Agency. Again, from exam point of view, at the end moment, which are the key points that we will focus? One is whether it's statutory or non-statutory. Statutory. Under which act? National Investigation Agency Act 2008. Okay. Works under which ministry? Ministry of Home Affairs. So can it handle what are different types of cases that it can handle? Terrorism. Apart from terrorism, counterfeit. Next, unlawful activities prevention act, scheduled offences. No, few offences which I had listed. Yes, prohibited arms. So at least few things, if you are able to recall, that will be sufficient. Currency counterfeit, cyber terrorism. Yes, human trafficking. Okay, good. Now, does it require the state government's consent? No. Can it handle the cases only in India or also outside India? Outside India. So these are the few points, if you keep in mind, that would be sufficient. Okay. At the end moment, when you are scrolling through this content, you need not go through each and every point. So these are a few points which if you keep in mind, that would be more than sufficient. Okay, more than sufficient.